Hello and welcome to another episode of An Echo of Glory. We are back after a weekend of bursting bubbles. Joining me again, Adam Nathan. Hello.
How are you?
All right, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
And you must be happy this weekend. Jake Sanders, hello.
You're also a Spurs fan, aren't you?
Yeah, but like this is your
Is
derby.
that what we're doing here? Is this a Spurs show?
This is a cricket pod.
Oh,
We're gonna
right.
talk about
You must be happy about Spurs winning a game.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. Yeah,
Yeah, I am happy. I
buzzing.
love beating West Ham.
it's your derby, isn't it? As our Essex correspondent,
Yeah.
they still claim they don't really care.
What, Spurs or West
Ham.
Ham?
I went down the, the vlog rabbit hole last night of West Ham fans. You know, faces as we're scoring 3 goals. Oh, they care. They care when we beat them. You got because obviously our mate Adam. I'll speak for Adam here. It's all like Spurs and Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in Essex, is your WhatsApp all Spurs and West Ham?
No, I know a fair few. It's still majority Arsenal. It doesn't touch the sides compared to Arsenal, but yeah, it does. I know a lot of Spurs fans will look at it as another Premier League game, but it's definitely not that to me.
It was good, no?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I felt after about 25 minutes, you just felt like the balance of the game had really shifted in our favour. And it was a bit sideways, and it was crosses to tell poor sod in there that's not going to do an awful lot with it. But I felt we were in complete control of the game. And in terms of how you would typically expect to manage a big derby game, especially an away game, it kind of felt like the blueprint of how to do it.
Yeah.
Red card or not, I don't. Yeah, hindsight's whatever it is, 2020 vision. But like that McGinn game a couple of years ago against Aston Villa, when we were 2-0 up and he got sent off, and you could have said 10-man Villa. It was 10-man West Ham, but I felt even without the red card, we were in complete control of that game. We're going to win.
Was the first goal before the red, right?
Yeah, we were 1-up. We'll do it in detail soon. It changes your weekend, doesn't it? You wake up, your Saturday night's better. You wake up.
I
Sunday
did wake up
chipper.
yesterday morning. I was dropping my wife somewhere, and early yesterday morning, I thought, got that great Spurs feeling, really good feeling.
Yeah.
Even after a long night at work.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It was good.
And we just beating West Ham. A little bit of club news. The 18s also beat West Ham on Saturday 5-0. It's the full set. The 16s beat them 6-0. Also on Saturday, the women beat them 1-0 last weekend. And the seniors obviously beat them 3-0 on Saturday. We just beat West Ham now.
This is who we are, mate.
Winning trophies and beating West Ham. That's what we do. Yesterday, the women won 2-0 at Everton.
Some goal, by the way.
Yeah, incredible goal from Kathinka Tamberg, new signing from 40-odd yards. Tried to wind my...
At Goodison Park as well.
Yeah,
Just for the first game of the post-Goodison era.
I'll come to that in a second. I want to ask you something. But I tried to wind my wife up that we beat Everton 2-0, and she literally couldn't have cared less, which is a shame. They're 2 wins from 2, the only team in the division yet to concede in the league. So they've got a new manager, Martin Ho. So hopefully things will start to change there. So as you say, they played at Goodison Park. It's now the biggest stadium in women's football that is sole uses for the women's team. And I was reading some tweets from Everton fans saying it felt weird going back. If we'd done the whole fanfare and left White Hart Lane, but the stadium had stayed and then the women's team took it over, you might not go, but you see it on the telly and people go... Weird? Yeah. You don't just want closure?
Bit wrong.
Yeah, you'd want to go back, I think. If it's there and the option that you you had a couple of bad home results and people start moaning about the atmosphere or concessions or traffic or like too many tourists.
Yeah.
You would imagine like in the middle of the Conte season, the second Conte season or whatever, people would have been begging like, just go back to White Hart Lane. Can't we just go back?
The women's attendances would have shot up.
Yeah. No, it just felt a bit weird, and it looked like a COVID game with all the big...
Was there that many there?
No, there was like 5,500, which isn't bad, but it was empty. There was Goodison holds 40-odd.
Yeah, it's never going to look great, though.
No, it's just a bit bizarre. All right, we're going to talk to Phil Kitromilides later, Spanish broadcaster, Spurs fan. Talk to him about Villarreal, because we're back in the Champions League.
So I've been told.
Yeah, it's back. That music will go through you and tingle your spine.
Well, it won't actually, because it's our first time hearing the new rendition, the new version. Because they re-recorded it last year, didn't they?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
It sounds, it seems like someone is just looking to make a penny and remade the same song with some slightly different overtones or whatever. But they redid it last year.
Interesting.
I'm taking my son, who doesn't know it yet. But I keep winding him up that he's not going. So
you're going to surprise him tomorrow.
I'm literally going to say, I'm going now. Bye. I was like, come on, you're coming with me. So, although I think he might have got wind of it because I don't know how, but he's not.
I hope he watches the pod or listens.
He doesn't.
Hopefully he doesn't watch it. Otherwise,
I've just killed
surprise
it.
over.
All right, we'll talk about that soon. Phil's going to come on in a bit. Spurs winning 3-0 at West Ham. Here's the lineup. Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Spence, 3 in front, Sarr, João Palhinha, Bergvall, 3 in front of them, Kudus, Tell and Simons. The only surprise for me there was Tell, if I'm honest. I think that surprised everyone when he started.
Yeah, I know Simons is predominantly centrally, but it felt like needing Sarr's legs and Palhinha playing, he was probably going to play on the left.
Yeah.
Until... Yeah, I don't think anyone really saw that coming. The only thing I can think of is possibly, and I know this is quite a common thing thrown around after international race, Richarlison got on a flight.
Bolivia away.
Is that why?
Well, that
got
Bolivia
on a flight
game
on Wednesday.
takes it out of you as well when you play.
We go back to work straight away after holidays.
Yeah, but you haven't been playing in La Paz.
Yeah, but where was Bentancur playing? He was on the bench. Was that because he got on a flight as well?
But But now we've got a good squad.
No, I know, but I don't know whether that was exactly the reason, but it did feel typical us that 4 games in, we've somehow got Tell starting up front in a big derby game. But I think the rest was.
Surprised by that.
Much.
I mean,
Yeah, I think we'd naturally assumed. Well, we've signed Xavi Simons. He's going to play number 10. He's a Tottenham number 10 now. Done. Put it in Sharpie every game, number 10. And actually, when you watch a game like that, there's probably 15 away games and 6 or 7 home games where you're thinking, I'm not sure who I'd want not to play in that midfield 3 to accommodate a number 10.
Yeah.
And I know people will moan about creativity or whatever, but I don't know who I would want to drop out of Palhinha, Sarr and Bergvall in a game where it's not all going to go your way. You are going to have to fight to assert your dominance. Yep. So I think it poses quite an interesting question going forward for what selections might be. Now, maybe a home game that we've got coming up, Villarreal, slightly different, but
he's allergic to the studio, by the way.
I can see James has put tissues there for me.
But looking ahead to Brighton on Saturday next week, I'm not sure I'd be necessarily wanting an expansive 4-2-3-1. I think I'd be quite happy going in with a similar way to, earn the right to play, win get through the first half an hour, and then start dominating.
But you're not starting Tell up front.
I think the other thing is the fact that we don't have a natural sort of left wing or someone who would, do you know what I mean? That if we're 2 months down the line and Colin Moani's going to play there, different story. But you don't desperately want Brennan Johnson there. Odobert, not really. Colin Moani's obviously short of minutes, so it sort of worked well to go. You can play on the left, and as Ad said, we got that sort of trio in midfield, and it worked well. You can tell he's not a winger though. Xavi Simons.
He's not your flying winger like Kudus might be, but.
He still calls,
some
problems, and you cut inside, and had a few shots and a few crosses.
We'll talk about him.
You can tell quickly when a central player is playing out wide.
Well,
we watched him for Holland last week a bit, and you could just tell he wants to come inside every time.
He was playing on the wrong side, but Mopelus84 here says Modric was effective off the left initially,
and Eriksen did it as well.
I don't want to compare. Well, I'm going to. That's the whole point of this point, but. I saw Simons is not going to be the player in Modric. He's not going to go and win 300.
He's going to be much
300.
better.
He's going to be better. 300 Champions Leagues and still be playing at 40. But there's a touch of Modric is about him. The way he glides,
leans inside,
the way the vision. He's obviously better centrally, I think, and we want to try and find a way to get him in. But I really enjoyed his performance. We'll come to it. Slow start-ish, expected, international break. Half of his players have never played together, including Van der Ven and Romero, who just, we're suddenly seeing the fruits of that partnership, hopefully playing every week. Kudus hasn't played with Tell much. Tell hasn't played with Simons ever. Palhinha and Bergvall, never played together. These guys have all just come back. Slow start. West Ham probably should have taken the lead. And then we have that VAR goal. I mean, I've got to be careful what I say, but, just a poor decision. A really poor decision.
Yeah, I think it was just way too keen for the ref to make a decision because what with, we don't need to make this a VAR debate, but what with the high bar they look to set, if the ref doesn't give a foul in that situation and then the VAR can have a look at it, if there is a foul, they can quite easily overturn it. Whereas if you do give a foul, there basically has to be no contact whatsoever for VAR to be justifiable in overturning it.
So you think if he gives the goal, VAR still going, goal?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that for penalties. Like if a ref does give it and there's a slightest touch, the VAR is obliged to go with the on-field decision because it's not technically an error. You could hide behind that. Whereas if you're making the guy say, no, actually, there is probably a foul there, I think it gives you a better balance. And like the goal went in and he whistled about 4 or 5 seconds after.
But he did that for the red as well. I know the red was different, but he was obviously a bit, whistle happy. He couldn't wait to rule it out.
Well,
and and the red as well. He didn't even give himself a second. If you watch it back, he made the foul. I know it was a clear red. Literally 2 seconds later, we had the red card out.
I think that's good refereeing.
No, it's not bad. But I'm just saying in terms of like, just give yourself a bit of time. He didn't even, and you can also, I understand that Romero can be a bit, of an intense person. But you can often tell with a player's reaction how bad of a decision it is. And if you've scored a goal, you're always sort of riled up when it gets ruled out. But you could tell that Romero just could not believe it.
Well, Romero didn't know what was going on.
No. But even so, you could tell by Van der Ven celebrated straight away. He didn't even consider it.
I don't think a West Ham player appealed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No. And then the worst bit about it is, which is the classic way things work. Was it Van der Ven at the back post with Fernandes?
Yeah, 2 minutes later.
Just wrestle him to the ground, and they're so lenient to any sort of touch from an attacker. Yeah. But a defender, you can get away with any sort of wrestling in the box. It's classic. This generation of refereeing.
It's poor. I don't know why they're it's like the goal prevention unit. I don't know why they're trying to stop so many goals. But we're getting a lot more corners, and probably because we've got Kudus down the line who will win you corners. Kulusevski was cutting in, and Johnson isn't the kind of player that will go down the line and win you corners. We're getting a lot more corners, a lot more throw-ins in those situations. And I got a text from an Arsenal fan, I think it was after the first goal maybe. Oh, which one of us is Stoke? Is it us or you? Well, I don't have a problem with Arsenal being Stoke. If that's the quickest way to goal is chuck it near the bloody goal or kick it near the goal. Arsenal fans seem to realise they're not prime Barcelona from 2008. Great, that's the way to goal. That 1%, that extra 1%, I'm here for it. Like, we've just seen 2 years of not caring about set pieces. And now all of a sudden, within 8 weeks, we're effective from set pieces.
Do either of you play golf?
Yeah.
Do you ever practice putting?
Always.
So, it's the most important part.
Wait, I thought you were going to say that as in you don't.
No,
every round I have half an hour.
I always forget to practice putting, which is so stupid because it's the thing that costs you the most.
Half an hour.
Set pieces are probably the most common thing that happens in any game. There are more throw-ins, more corners, more free kicks than basically anything else. To not have them as a focal point is just stupid. And I'm stupid not practicing putting. It's the same sort of thing. And I think Ange, again, not rehashing old stuff, but his sort of objectionable belligerence at not caring about set pieces was so frustrating and daft. Fine if you're not going to make it we want to play our way. If we get set pieces, we can score, great, but it's not the focal point of our attack, fine. But to say we don't really care about them, it's just stupid.
His attitude was almost like, it's fine. We won't concede any set pieces in the next few games. It's like the average corners in a Premier League game must be, 5 to 7 generally. Yeah. So you're
for your team.
No. As a whole, 3 each maybe. 2 each.
More.
So you've got a decent amount of chances to score every week and a decent amount of chances to concede. So to just cut corners and go, it's fine.
Cut corners.
Very
clever.
But it's the kind of thing that when you go, as we've all played Sunday League football, you never do any sort of set piece work. And the lower down you go the pyramid, you never do it. But at that level, with the amount of analysis, look at what happened. Something clearly happened at half time on Saturday, because they've all pointed over, and it wasn't rocket science, because anyone that has watched football this season knows that West Ham goalkeeper is all over the place.
It wasn't just about the goalie. Someone at half time had seen they're not picking people up
at the back post. Yeah.
Within 90 seconds.
Well, they weren't picking people up at the front post either, because Romero scored. But it was clear that 2 or 3, I don't know who else it was, just peeled to the back post. Yeah. Sarr couldn't believe his luck. He's got a free header, 3 minutes into the second half.
Do you think that's what they were... Did he say that we were pointing at?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
He said just stand there.
So you think that was a half-time thing?
The coach said if you stand at the back post, you'll be unmarked.
Did someone mention that?
Yeah. So I think Sarr mentioned it in a post-game thing. Fine. He literally stood there.
Yeah.
It was bizarre.
Yeah. So we'd grown into the game end of the first half. we weren't knocking on the door, but you could see.
We were actually knocking. It was right at the end of the first half.
was a
There
lot
was a
of
few sort of crosses,
yeah,
and there was Van der Ven
scrambles.
had a little
Yeah,
chance.
Yeah, but it was a goal was probably
you
coming.
felt like it was coming. Yeah.
Half time comes and goes, and within 90 seconds we're 1-up. And then about 10 minutes later, the red card. I mean, I do believe Suchik is not that type of player.
He did. No,
Bad tackle, has to go.
You knew it straight away.
Yeah,
as soon as it happened, you could just tell. You could tell his foot was, and you know,
Yeah.
And
wear shin
saw his
pads,
sock.
kids.
Yeah.
You saw his sock.
Yeah,
straight
exactly.
away.
Wear shin pads, kids. Because
Anytime players reach for the ball straight on,
Yeah, it's
you're
always a
asking for
risk.
trouble. But I don't think it was malicious.
Oh,
I
no,
thought
he's-
it was
he's not
stupid.
like that.
Palhinha
all.
was wearing proper shin pads, right? You know, some of these players like Grealish, and a lot of these players barely wear shin pads.
Yeah,
right?
I know. I
Do you
think.
think Palhinha wears proper shin pads because he's a rough and
Well, he
tough
flies in,
centre
doesn't he?
midfielder?
Yeah,
He's going to get that.
Otherwise, he'll be getting chunks of skin taken out.
Yeah. And then within
I didn't. It was from it. I didn't realise. I watched it back.
Yeah.
It was from it. It was
8 seconds.
Palhinha to Romero,
8
and
seconds.
Romero straight away. So
Yeah.
that was obviously
8 seconds, the Romero pass. Was it his pass to Maddison in Hoffenheim?
Yes.
His pass to Maddison against
Bodo,
Bodo?
clearly.
No, Porro played that pass
Against Bodo.
against
it?
Bodo. Yeah.
I thought it was Romero.
No, it's Porro because I've seen that. There's this video of like a slow motion version of the goal set to jazz music that they were doing a lot last year, and it's definitely Porro.
That was Porro. George Pena agrees. Stop looking it up.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, he's got to check.
It was Porro.
What a header! What a pass! Something that they've probably said, to Frank, I can. By the way, I can hit these. What a header! What a header! Trying to think about
Best Tottenham
great
headed
Spurs
goals.
headers. Nicky Barmby, who gets a mention in a Bergvall stat, which I really
Kane
like.
against Arsenal is always the standard,
Yeah.
isn't it? But
Best
I don't
Spurs
think we've
headers?
scored.
That Kane one was great. Delhi against Chelsea, the first one.
Oh
was
yeah,
but
that
they're,
was the same.
they're
as
always
the
great when they're coming from one
Yeah.
side and it goes back across the other way. Like that sort
Yeah.
of right angle effect always looks great.
Barmby against Wimbledon. Am I showing my age here?
I can't remember that.
I do remember, I think Gary Doherty scored a great one in a 4-2 win against Newcastle where Rebrov
Yes,
scored with the outside of his foot.
yes.
Mad game. I
Year's
think it
Day,
was
I think.
New Year's Day or something.
This was up there.
That was that was
We
right
don't
there.
ever. We never seem to really score any headers.
Bentoncourt's
Richarlison,
had a few.
Yeah, from corners.
Richarlison had a really good one against Marseille a few years
He
ago.
scored 2, didn't he?
Yeah, one was quite bad keeping, but I remember one being quite off the post and in. But I mean, the keeper was doing his best Paul Robinson impression, but it was a brilliant header.
Friend of the show, please.
I love Paul Robinson.
Which bit was the what off his not?
He
sort of
just was like weirdly a few feet out of his
Yeah,
goal. I love
yeah.
Paul Robinson, and
Yeah, yeah.
he's one of my favourite Spurs players. But it did sort of resonate that sort of no man's land position,
What we calling that header? Was it a guide?
Yeah,
looping.
Looping is good.
Very good. I think Kane's is guided against Arsenal.
Yeah, you like back across.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Bergvall's is guided. And then Bergvall sets up Van der Ven 3-0 game over. He becomes the second youngest player to score and assist in the same Premier League game for Spurs since Nicky Barmby.
That's why you thought of that goal.
Yeah, well, I'd actually thought of it anyway.
Yeah,
and then
Barmby on it.
against Forest in December '92. I don't remember that at all. We talked against Bournemouth that Bergvall came on, and even not in hindsight, he played really well. But even not in hindsight, we were like, he probably should have played. Do you think? I think Frank even alluded to it in his presser. It was an error of judgment not to play Bergvall against Bournemouth, or is it actual hindsight to say he should have played him because he played well against West Ham and he played well when he came on? Was that actually just proof that he should have played him?
Yeah, I think there's a degree of sort of straight line running that he gives. And in conjunction with Sarr, I think with the shape that we do play, you do need two people that are going to try and run past. Because if it's just one person and a striker, I suppose it's quite easy to pick up that one guy. Whereas if you've got the threat of Sarr going or Bergvall
The third
going,
man run is so crucial.
it's so crucial. And I think that's something that we really lacked against Bournemouth, particularly when you didn't need it as much against City because they move the team up and you can go over the top of them. Or down the sides, and you can carry it. But against Bournemouth, I thought just having the option just to turn them and make them turn around and go over them a few times would have been really helpful.
It's not just that; it was legs we needed against Bournemouth. Palhinha isn't going to. We'll talk. I want to talk about him in a minute. Bentancur, who I love, fine. If he gets phased out because Bergvall and Sarr are amazing, then so be it. Let's talk about that. Well, Gaxman 77, was it an assist or loss of control directly to VDV?
Both.
Yeah, both opt to have got it down as an assist, so it stays in.
It's
as
the
an
last
assist.
person that touches the
Brennan
ball.
Johnson scored the winning goal in the Europa League final, did he? So what?
Sher Bashir got the last wicket against India, didn't he? At Lords,
Yeah,
allegedly.
exactly. I was there. That was great. João Palhinha has become a divisive figure on social media in the last 48 hours. He doesn't progress the ball enough. Okay, fine. Just buzzwords that we've got to use now. We're going to love Kudus. We're going to love Simons. Hopefully, going to love Kolo Muani if he's the player that he could be and he stays around. Palhinha could be the most important signing that we've made because we lack a player like that. There was a moment, like Alderweireld. I loved Alderweireld. Like I couldn't really tell you one great performance. He was just always there and always brilliant. You never really noticed him. Palhinha did a great tackle after about 75 minutes. Like, bloody hell, I forgot you were playing. And then I watched the game back. He was brilliant. And you probably won't notice him. He'll do these little things and he'll win the ball and he'll be big and he'll be strong. I don't care if he's not progressing the ball up the pitch.
He also cut them open for the third, didn't he?
It was his pass to Bergvall for the third.
He's only full pass in his career, right?
Someone sent me a thing about how he's done no progressive passes. I didn't even look to see since when.
Everyone's too obsessed with these weird words.
Like,
just watch the
it's
game.
my job to be obsessed
brilliant.
with statistics. Frank's job and all the analysis team's job to be obsessed with statistics. They'll know what he can and can't do, and they'll build a team around it, which is why maybe Bergvall is a better player to be next to him than Bentancur. What is it? Why has he suddenly become this divisive figure already?
He's probably not that divisive a figure.
Yeah.
It's just that when you have online culture wars,
right,
the more it goes on and the longer it's talked about, the people that love the guy tend to overdo their love, but actually the people that want to find fault tend to have to try and find more fault and more fault and more fault. And look, I've probably done it with players in the past. I despised Eric Lamela and would never, ever, ever say a good word about him. I appreciate there probably is more of a middle ground that I just refuse to see, but that's just the way it goes. But I think that, yeah, the people on the side that dismiss Palhinha have now so entrenched in this idea that he simply can't be good that it just feels a bit silly. I mean, and I'm not someone that would play him every game. I maybe in hindsight wouldn't play him at home to Bournemouth.
Right.
And I think there needs to be an understanding of that most people, I think, understand that Palhinha is a guy that should probably start 3/4 of the games, doesn't need to play all of them, but is a crucial player. And, we had an imperfect squad going into the summer, and that was a position that had to be filled. And the fact that we could fill it in the short term without spending any money was just good business. Last year we were desperate for a left winger at the end of the window, and we went and spent a load of money on Odebear to just leave us with the same gap.
Yeah.
At least this way we got someone that can do the job for a year. There might be, it's not Rodri, it's not signing Busquets, but it's a player that will 100% improve the level of the team for a year, and then we can see where we are again next year.
Someone compared him to Caicedo and Gravenberch. These are different players in different systems with different managers.
I think that guy was trying to say that those guys progress the ball as a six, but you don't
That's
need
fine, and those are very good at that. Frank will find a
Gravenberch's
way.
playing for the champions, and Caicedo cost 100 million. We've got the guy on loan.
Yeah.
But also, not everyone has to play the same way.
Right.
We've got brilliant fullbacks at carrying and progressing the ball. And if they can go forward and the guy can sit there and protect them, then what's the problem with that?
Can I pick you up on that, Ad? You said in our group during the game, I know you're not the hugest fan of Pedro Porro, but whatever, you said we need to switch to fullbacks.
Yeah, I thought Spence and Simons both played really well individually, but I thought they looked like an awkward pair because we just lose that area, the top left area of the pitch where basically becomes uninhabitable because there's no left footer. And I think there was a guy that was saying earlier that I think Mopoulos was saying that Modric was really good off the left, but he had someone like Ekoto as a left back who would love to get to the byline, get the ball over. And I thought in a game like that, we were wasting a lot of space that would have been quite promising. And I've said before, and I will say again, in my best team, I would have Spence and Udogie as my fullbacks. That's not to dismiss Porro. Well, maybe it is. I'm not as high on him as some people are. That's fine. Yeah. I'm not going to start a culture war. Yeah. I'm not going to start going online and saying how bad he is. Yeah. And, no good team play. But he's not my absolute cup of tea.
Yeah.
And so I thought that we miss a trick at times, not having two proper bombers down each side, fullback wise.
Doggy's been back a while, or ish. Maybe he's probably fit again. Do you think we'll start to see that a rotation between the fullbacks?
I don't know. It's quite an interesting one because Udogie has not been fit for a long... there's not been a period where they've all been, or not been a period since sort of January Spence came into the team, because when Udogie did get fit, it was, Udogie and him. It was the Europa League games. It was only a small amount of games. It was sort of like maybe the quarters onwards. It'll be interesting now to see with a long schedule ahead, with loads of big games coming up, what he will do.
He's going to get minutes now, Doggy, surely.
No, but I mean in terms of like, I don't know, like for the foreseeable, we've got loads of games. Is he just going to rotate? I mean, you'd imagine he'll start tomorrow, and I don't know, is it sort of a bit of a coin toss? Maybe he'll go, I don't know. I actually don't know. Maybe he'll go Spence just because Porro played 90 minutes twice last week for Spain. But moving forward, I don't know. If we had a North London derby on Saturday, who would it be? Probably a Dogie and Porro. I feel
like
like
it'd be Spence and Porro.
I don't know.
Right.
I think it's at the moment. I think Udogie's got to win the shirt back.
Well, Spence has been brilliant in the first 5 games, so
I think I'm right in saying that Spence and Udogie have started one game together. And we were 4-0 up after 20 minutes against Southampton, and then Udogie got injured.
yeah.
I think I'm right in saying
Well,
that.
Porro basically played every game last
Every
season,
game, but
didn't
he
he?
didn't
And
start
they
that one.
rotated.
Yeah.
So
Again, I'm not hating Porro. No. Just to pull that comment out, it's not Porro hate. It's just I'm an 8 out of 10 on Porro, where some people are 10 out of 10, which is fine.
Yeah. All right, we're going to talk to Phil Kitromilides soon. We'll come back to West Ham shortly. I'm going to press this button again and hope that nothing breaks. We got this to give away: the Mickey van der Ven signed shirt.
goal scoring machine now.
Goal scoring machine. He signed it. It's a Europa League shirt. It's not the Europa League shirt that he wore. I must stress that. It's got a Europa League medal, again a replica, but it's a really great bit of merchandise. It's certified, a certificate of authenticity on the back. As we keep saying, you have to be an Echo of Glory member.
Recording in progress.
You can't be a subscriber. That's great. Subscribe and then become a member. And you can win this. We're going to give it away at some point before Christmas. I don't even know when that's going to be. But if you want to be in the draw for that, become an Echo of Glory member. You're going to press this button. And it worked. I don't know if Phil is with us yet, but excited to get the Champions League back? Phil's here. But are you excited? The Champions League's back. I had to remind myself earlier that the last time we were in the Champions League was that Sanchez game, which feels like years ago against Milan.
I'm not that excited about the Champions League.
Oh.
Like it's great. It's
Build it
great.
up for the
Hang on.
pod.
It's great to be in it, and obviously, look, the games have magnitude. But there was something about being in the Europa League that was a winnable competition
what
last
you
year that felt really quite exciting.
I know what you mean.
And then I don't quite think we're at the caliber where we're going to waltz our way to the Champions League this year.
No, well.
It's more of a free hit, the whole competition, isn't it? I know we've got a sort of favourable batch of fixtures, but it's,
Right, James, where is he? Is he here with us? Can't see him. Are you going to let him in? I'm really excited.
I'm excited about tomorrow, definitely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to a Champions League game again. But yeah, there was something about watching how the Europa League mapped out last year. You're thinking, yeah, we could win that. That could be really exciting.
10,000 empty seats, Ronnie says. That's disappointing. I wonder on the back of winning against West Ham, whether, people see that winning, I want to go now. I'm sure there will be some tickets bought between now and tomorrow. But that is disappointing. I think it's a missed. Vinay's come in and been great, but they've got that wrong.
What do you reckon, Jake, about that?
Yeah.
No, 'cause I've been quite
Absolutely,
outspoken
yeah.
about the ticket pricing. I think they got it completely wrong. But
It's a shame.
They probably put them up to Category A after Saturday now as well, won't they?
I'm waiting to talk to Phil. Our wonderful producer, James. I don't know what's going on.
It's a shame for the first game.
Oh, you can hear us. There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
I'm here.
Okay, sorry, Phil. You're there. Live podcasting. What can you do, Never worked with animals or not James Alexander. I can't see you, but I can hear you. So we'll crack on and hopefully... there you are. Thank you for joining us. Phil Kitromilides, Spanish broadcaster, most importantly Spurs fan, which we'll come to shortly. But I want to tap into your expertise. Villarreal tomorrow night. Firstly, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show for first time on an Echo of Glory. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Before they lost to Atletico on Saturday night. I was looking at the league table and they were third. And then I looked at the results and I think it was Girona, Celta Vigo and Oviedo. I was like, okay, maybe that's why they were third. But really, they're a solid side, Villarreal. I know they lost 2-0 at Atleti. Where are they? What can we expect?
Yeah, they're a solid side. I've had sort of massive overhaul this summer. Loads of players in, loads of players out. They sold You might have seen Jeremy Pino to Crystal Palace. They also sold Alex Baena to Atletico Madrid. They were two of their biggest ever transfers in their history. So they brought a lot of money in, but they spent it. And they're a really well-run club, so they do have money to spend. Unlike a lot of clubs in Spain,
Yeah.
who don't have too much money to spend, Villarreal do, and they've bought it to try and strengthen the squad, which I think they've done pretty well in terms of bringing players in. So let's see. In terms of what to expect from the game, listen, Villarreal, they don't really want the ball. They're very happy to not have the ball. They're very happy to see possession to the opponent and then try and hit you on the counter attack. I'll give you an example. I remember last season at the end of the season in La Liga, they were at home, Villarreal, to Leganés. Leganés not a good team. They got relegated. Um, Villarreal had, I think, 30% possession in this game, and they won 3-0. Like even at home to a relegation threatened side, they were not taking the initiative. That's fine. You have the ball. That's fine. We're going to sit back and we're going to hit you on the counter, and that's what they did. And that's what I fully expect them to try and do tomorrow against Spurs. They tried to do it against Atletico Madrid, and it didn't work very well on Saturday. But they still had some really good chances, and I think they had actually a slightly higher expected goals than Atletico Madrid. So even though they didn't have much possession, even though Atleti controlled the game, they still managed to create at least two really, really clear-cut openings. So they're a side that can hurt you without really needing the ball too much.
I noticed excuse my pronunciation, Mikhail Tadze, the Georgian, played on Saturday. I think that was his debut. He had a really good Euro 2024 for Georgia. Expect him to start on Tuesday night?
I think so. I mean, definitely expected him to start against Atletico Madrid, but now they do have options up front. Ayose Perez, who they signed from Real Betis last summer.
Newcastle,
yeah. He was on the bench against Atletico Madrid, so he's got an opportunity. I mean, Mikataute and Perez, I've never played in the Champions League before. Neither is Nicola Pepe. Neither have over half of the players in the squad for Villarreal. So they have signed decent players, but maybe not players that have been involved in the Champions League previously. So we'll see how they get on. But yeah, Mikataute is their biggest ever transfer. They spent 30 million euros on him, which is big money for Spain and big money for Villarreal. So yeah, we'll see whether or not he starts. I've got a feeling he might though. Yeah.
You mentioned Pepe, obviously hasn't played in the Champions League before because he was up the road when they weren't in it. But he's been in good form. He's scored a couple of goals, but actually closer to home. Juan Foyth, he was here for a few years. Tell us how he's getting on.
Juan Foyth just turned into like a really, really good player, like an amazingly good player. I definitely didn't see this when he was at Spurs. He played a lot of the time at right back for Villarreal, and now he's being used as a centre back, and he may well start at centre back tomorrow. And it's something, yeah. I mean, I did not see this coming. For him to be sort of evolving into a Champions League elite a defender when he was at Spurs, seemed, you know, prior did a decent enough job, useful utility player, but nothing particularly special. But now he's really evolved into a really important player for Villarreal. Plays every game if he's fit. So I was surprised and quite pleased to see him develop like this.
Phil, from an outsider looking in, Villarreal over sort of the last 20 years, smaller budget, smaller stadium compared to some of the bigger clubs in Spain, but they're always around that sort of 5th, 6th Champions League, challenger for the Champions League, won the Europa League, they've reached the latter stages of the Champions League. How do they, keep punching above their weight?
I mean, yeah, I'll mention the number that's always mentioned when you talk about Villarreal, 50,000. That's the population of the town, 50,000. Like, it's a tiny little place, and it's a very well run club. Obviously, it helps that they've got a rich owner in Fernando Roch, who owns the biggest chain of supermarkets in Spain, and he has put a lot of money into the club. But like I said, it's been well run. They haven't outspent themselves. They've been well within budget. They've sold very well as well, which has helped. So they're just a really well run club. They won't spend too much, and it's a miracle. And now we just sort of become used to it now. Oh yeah, they're in the Champions League. Yeah, but from a tiny little town. There's no real reason for them to be amongst the elite, but there they are. Of course, last time they played in the Champions League was in the semi-final against Liverpool in 2022 when they gave them a really good game in Villarreal as well. So, yeah, they continue to punch way above their weight. They really shouldn't be here, but here they are. And again, it's a bit like I heard you guys speaking just before I came on, talking about, well, I'm not really that excited because you're not going to win the Champions League. And, let's be honest, Spurs probably aren't going to win the Champions League. But you never know. But Villarreal probably aren't going to win the Champions League either. But they got to the semi-final 3 years ago. They got to the semi-final, had absolutely no business. So when things click, magic happens in the Champions League, and it always seems to be one year. The team goes on a ridiculous run to the semi-finals. There's an outsider that gets to the semi-finals. So why can't that be Spurs again this year, or why can't that be Villarreal? I'm not saying go and win it, but go deep in it. It would be great to see.
I was going to say, Phil, there is an element of it feels a bit like a free hit for Spurs, given that in March earlier this year, us playing in the Champions League in September felt rather a long way away. Mm-hmm. What's the general vibe about Villarreal in their Champions League situation? Is it sort of, great to be in it, let's see what happens, have some fun with it, or are they going to use it as a platform to build on and deprioritize La Liga for the Champions League games, which teams have to do in some capacity to compete properly?
Yeah, this is why I think they've gone out and spent a bit of money and reinforced the squad quite a lot, because they want to go as deep as they can in the competition, and you need to have players in every position. One of the great things I think about playing for Villarreal, being the manager of Villarreal, it's not that much pressure on you. It's not like being at Real Madrid or Barcelona or even at Atletico Madrid or even at somewhere like Sevilla or Betis or in Bilbao, or where there's like a really strong local press and massive fan base. There isn't a huge fan base. So there isn't huge expectations. So there isn't a massive amount of pressure on Villarreal. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a free hit for them as well. They hadn't been in the Champions League for 3 years, so they'll want to do well on their return. I think they've got a tricky draw though. I mean, they've got to play Man City, away to Spurs, which is obviously the hardest of the lot. They've got to go to Dortmund. They've got Leverkusen. I think they've got Juventus as well. So it's a really difficult draw for Villarreal, and so they will be viewing. I don't know if they'll be viewed as the game against Spurs as one of the more winnable fixtures, but certainly, if of those games that I've just reeled off, maybe they will feel like this is one that way they can try and get something out of.
Man City, Dortmund en route to the Champions League final, no biggie.
Easy.
Villarreal have played 14 matches against the English opposition. They've never won one. I don't think they're going to win tomorrow, hopefully. We've asked a few people on here, like we asked a German guy last week how the Premier League is viewed abroad. La Liga is wonderful. It's probably the closest in quality to the Premier League. Premier League probably the biggest league in the world, and La Liga probably second. But how are Spurs viewed, and how's the Premier League viewed over there at the moment?
So the Premier League is just viewed as this sort of golden money bags land where they just come and just swoop for all the best players here. And when you've got like bottom team in the Premier League makes more money than the team that finishes third and fourth in La Liga, in terms of TV. So it's difficult to compete financially, and it's just seen as like that's where the money is basically. So I think a lot of people, and also the speed of the Premier League. Like when you watch the Premier League and when you watch La Liga, I will defend La Liga and say that, the technical level and the technical ability that you see week in, week out, teams can play and they can pass. And there are really good teams in La Liga. It's not just Real Madrid and Barcelona, but the speed. If you go from watching a La Liga game to go to watching a Premier League game, which I do often, most weekends, it's like you're watching a game on fast forward, because the speed with which the Premier League is played at, the pace is a little bit different to Spain. In terms of how Spurs are viewed, I mean, I'd like to come on and tell you that, we've got this magnificent reputation here in Spain, but we don't, unfortunately. Like here in Spain, they view like Liverpool and Manchester United have got this like mythical aura around them, particularly Liverpool, because of what they've done in Europe as well. Like they've got like big respect for them. They're viewed as like this big traditional European side. Spurs, yeah, people know who they are, but it's not like the people are.
We won a European Cup in their country, didn't we?
We did, and we also played a Champions League
Yeah.
final not long ago as
Yeah.
well. So, like I said, people definitely know who we are, but we're not amongst the elite quite yet.
And obviously, you're saying you're a broadcaster, but a Spurs fan too. How are you feeling about Spurs at the moment?
Yeah, feeling all right. I mean, it was a bit of a weird one at the end of last season, obviously, with the whole situation with Ange. I know you, Johnny, pretty pleased to
I
see him
was,
gone.
yeah, absolutely.
Just a little bit, no. I was a little bit sort of before the final, he's got to go, and then after the final, I let emotions get the
Yeah,
better of me. Like, no, he's got to stay. Give it
yeah,
one more season. Look at this. Look at the parade. I went to the
yeah.
parade. Flew back for it. It was just, it's all magical. Just give him another season. But yeah, I think the sort of cold ruthlessness of getting rid of him and bringing in Thomas Frank at the moment seems like quite a good move. I just didn't like the lack of a plan B last season. It was just so frustrating, so frustrating. Although we did see it a little bit in the Europa League and some of the away games, they got the job done, playing in a slightly different way. But overall, it just felt a little bit one-dimensional. So yeah, I think the summer signings quite impressive. Actually, I identified positions that needed filling, went out and got like high quality players for those positions. So yeah, feeling pretty positive. I took my son to his first Spurs game last season at I was going to say the lane at the lane, and it was a frustrating 1-1 draw against Fulham. And I said, this is the perfect sort of way to begin
Welcome.
life as a Spurs fan.
Yeah,
So
That was one of the better
this
results last season.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I think it can't get any worse domestically. Literally
yeah.
can't get any worse domestically than it was last season, and we've started well. So let's see.
And finally, back to tomorrow. I said Villarreal never beaten an English side. We've got a really poor record against Spanish sides. I think one win in our last 13, which would have been Real Madrid at Wembley. We've lost to Barca, Real Madrid, Getafe, and others historically. How do you see it going tomorrow night?
I mean, Spanish teams have got a very good record against English teams in general. So if I sit on the fence and say it might be like a 2-2 draw, I could see something like that playing out. Obviously, I'd love Spurs to start winning, but Villarreal are a tough team, very tough team to break down. And yeah, I'm a little bit scared of them on the break. I shouldn't be because obviously got Mickey van der Ven, and I mean, haven't loved a Spurs player more than for a long time. It's been a long time since probably since Ledley, since I loved the player as much as him. So his speed could be important tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to say 2-2.
Okay. Phil, thank you so much for joining us, for making your debut, and we will definitely speak to you probably live from Budapest when we play Real Madrid in the Champions League final.
Nice one. I'm sure you'll get the tickets and the hotel organised for me. Yeah,
Not a problem.
For sure.
Not a problem.
We've got a massive budget here, so that'll be easy.
Nice one, guys.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Phil.
Cheers. No worries.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. I'm excited, Dad. I'm excited.
Now.
Do you know why? Also, I love seeing new teams, and obviously, like Bodo was new, but it's like, who the hell are they? Villarreal, good Spanish side, as Phil said, probably better than giving them credit for, and it's a new team, and that's what you love going to Europe as your first games and seeing all these fans doing different things. I actually don't know how many fans they've got, probably not that many, but yeah, I'm excited, and it's such a winnable game. And
My excitement was slightly killed when he said they are not interested in having the ball. I sort of thought, I've seen that
low
game
blocks
before.
Yeah, but that's why you have Xavi Simons.
Yeah, no. That's why you pay the money for them kind of, Kudus and Siemens and, having quality in those wide areas.
Yeah. I just want to close off the West Ham game with a couple of stats, because that's what I do. Biggest win at West Ham since 1962. You remember that?
We beat them. Staggering that we've not beaten them by 3 goals.
We've been 3-0 up a few times.
Yeah, we were 3-0 up twice.
Twice.
Yeah. So we beat them 6-1. Greaves got a couple of goals. We won our opening 2 away league games without conceding a single goal for the second time, I think, in our history, because Opta would have put down in the Premier League. What? Yeah, and the first time we ever did it was in 2017 under Poch. So who were the 2 away games?
Newcastle was the first one.
In 2017.
2017.
Yeah, Newcastle away was.
Who wants to tell me on the comments who our first two games?
It was
away
Newcastle
games
away.
were?
Ben Davis and Dele scored.
I don't remember that.
Then the third game would have been
It was the Wembley
Huddersfield,
season.
maybe.
No, that was
Was
too
it Everton?
that was later.
Everton?
Oh.
Was it Everton?
No,
Won 3-0 at Goodison. Kane scored from a cross.
Yes, it was.
yeah, good one.
Well done. We won our first 4 away games that season. 3-2 against West Ham. And then we beat Huddersfield 4-0 where Kane scored
Oh,
a goal. Where
yeah.
delicious goal.
he cut inside and smacked.
Well, hang on. The big news was Sissoko
Musa
scored that
Sissoko
day.
scoring, yeah.
Yeah,
That was the start of
who
the
I'm trying to
revival.
get on this pod, but he's not replied to me yet.
I don't know. I would not be able to maintain composure if the Moose was on.
Be giddy.
Yes, George, it came from a throw-in, that goal. Spurs have won 3 of their 4 Premier League matches this season, we know that bit, keeping a clean sheet in every victory, as many clean sheets as they've managed in their previous 26 league games. Who cares about defending? Mohamed Kudus has attempted more dribbles than any other player in the Premier League this season, 28, including a further 6 against West Ham. I know West Ham fans said they didn't care about him. All they've tweeted about since was how delighted they were.
Oh, we were so close from getting such an amazing moment.
Yeah, they were so happy he didn't score or assist. I thought he was going to score at the end. He actually should have left that for Palhinha, who was coming onto it.
Wait, what one's that?
Right at the end.
What, the keeper made the save?
No, I think he won a corner.
Oh, yeah, no, but I'm saying the only save the keeper's maybe
It
ever
wasn't
made in
that
his
chance.
life.
There was a block. It was Johnson crossed it. Richarlison helped it on, and
I don't remember that. I'm talking about the one that he saved, and then
Yeah, that was a
Johnson
good
was
save.
offside from the rebound.
So that's just quickly. You mentioned Richarlison. I actually gave Tell a bit of stick at half time. I think he touched the ball 7 times or 8 times. And I was like, get me a centre forward. And then Richarlison comes on. He played 20 minutes, touched it twice. Maybe playing up front in this team is not that easy. Is it a system
It was
thing?
such a dead game at that point.
Yeah,
though. Like,
it was keep.
It was walking
All
football.
right, so Tell 8 touches in the first half. But is it difficult to play up front in this team? Maybe?
Richarlison wouldn't have had 8 touches in that first
I
half.
don't know. We've seen him have those games.
I don't think Tell was awful.
No,
I thought he did about as much as could be expected in that scenario. You know, he's not going to be a towering centre forward to win headers, but it would be really unfair to use that as criticism of him because it's just not his game. I
agree.
I thought he worked hard. I thought he ran the defenders, gave them a game, and the game was not really played in that part of the pitch. Anyway, it wasn't. We weren't that far advanced. I thought it was real scraps he was having to feed off.
Yeah, it was.
I wanted to ask about Kudus actually, who's obviously fantastic, brilliant. But I just wondered that there's times where you feel like I feel like he cuts back inside a lot, and having done the hard work of getting past the line, he goes back to almost start again.
You want him to shoot.
Even in midfield, I feel he's got his man 1v1, and he'll cut back. Yeah, it might be.
And it's often onto his right foot.
Yeah, and it might be something that is encouraged by the manager to let the people catch up because maybe he's too far advanced. But there's times where I almost want him to be more direct. Like I would never have a problem with a winger losing a ball trying to take a man on, ever. For me, that's their job. And if they lose it 4 times and beat the man once, that's fine. I'm happy with those odds.
Correct.
But he seems at times almost a bit conservative. And I wonder if that's something that he's always been like, or if maybe that is just part of the game that we want to play.
He beats men so easily.
Yeah,
easily.
so
He's
easily.
He's not the greatest crosser of the ball. I think he needs to work
But a lot
on
of his crosses are with his right foot, though, as well. Because he's always he gets it then as Ad said, he goes back. Although, like he did for that Richarlison overhead kick against Burnley. But yeah,
which didn't win. I got a bugbear.
Did it not win?
Who was it?
2 bugbears have bothered me this week. West Ham got a free kick when Ward-Prowse or Bowen fell over in front of the corner flag.
Oh, that was terrible.
That's just the cheapest.
Terrible.
They should just not let forwards in that corner because if you touch someone, you're going to go. It's a foul. It's a waste of time.
I'll give you my other bugbear after I've thanked Ray again for his donation of £10. He says the run up to November is quite favourable. Yeah, don't look at our November fixtures. Again, Ray, thank you for your donation. Ray is now a member and can win.
Can I just say, I think the November fixtures are overrated.
You can't say anything until I've said this. Ray can win this because he's a member. If you're not a member, you can't win it. My other bugbear is Dominic Szoboszlai winning goal of the month for a free kick. Free kicks should not win goal of the month.
Oh, stop it.
No, they shouldn't. Sorry.
I'm with you.
It was against Arsenal. We can let this one slide.
That's okay. I'm sorry. I saw that.
That was a ludicrous free kick.
I
know what you mean, but
I was on the plane and I didn't see the game. When I came off, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" Got home, watched it. I was like,
"Oh, stop it!
It's a good free kick, but like,
stop it."
I mean, I'm like,
it was one of the almost one of the great Premier League free kicks. That
Really?
it was obscenely good. Not many players in the world can do that from that position against one of the top keepers in Europe. Come on.
I'm not mad on free kicks as
off,
aesthetically.
There's a reason that not many are scored.
I get that.
It's hard to do that.
Shouldn't win goal of the month. Overhead kicks or scissor kicks, whatever you want to call them, bices, should be winning.
Bicycle kicks are overrated.
I also agree with you on that.
Really?
A little bit.
No, they are very. They look great, don't they? Everyone loves them.
Like they're not all on Trevor Sinclair's level.
No, I could tell you about the 3 I've scored, but we'll do that another time.
Can I just shout out? We actually got an Everton fan in the comments.
We do have an
and
Everton
I remember,
loving it. The
I
Villarreal
remember
game.
that. I think it was it
Marcus
Kalina?
It was Kalina.
Was it Marcus Bent?
So
Everton fan.
So
confirmed.
Machina Joe here saying he's an Everton fan who likes Spurs, who's now a member. Thank you for doing that. He says he doesn't like Villarreal because of that 2005 Champions
got
League
done over.
qualifier.
They worked that whole season to get in the Champions League, then went out in the qualifier, and then I think maybe even went out the UEFA Cup qualifiers.
Did they drop in? Did they drop in?
Yeah, they did drop in.
Yeah, the years.
But I remember that it was
the third
I think
qualifying
it was Marcus
round.
Bent, because I used to do some work with Marcus Bent, and he said it was like obscene decision, outrageous decision. That
What year was that?
2005.
I know it's not an Everton podcast.
That's a
but
tough draw, by the way.
yeah,
By the way, Everton fans, member of this pod. I mean, what a testament to the show that is.
absolutely. They lost to Dinamo
Tell your
Bucharest.
friends.
They lost to Dinamo
So they did go
Bucharest.
out of the UEFA Cup.
Yeah, they did. They didn't.
Yeah.
Even
But
get
wait,
in that.
that was in 2005. So
Yeah.
they played.
4-5. Yeah.
So they would have played.
5-6.
Oh, okay.
But Villarreal got to the semi-finals that year, didn't they? That is a
awesome.
tough draw in the qualifiers.
Jay Keaveney, fantastic show, loving it. Hit the member button, Jay, or subscribe if you haven't. Well, you must be a subscriber because I don't think you can chat if you're not a subscriber. All right, Champions League. We'll talk about Villarreal tomorrow. Will says Champions League winners prediction. Well, Tottenham because we just
Obviously.
win trophies.
Yeah, that's what we do.
If it's not Tottenham, I actually don't know.
It's hard to look past PSG or Madrid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't see City causing too many problems.
No, I
Liverpool
won't
will
tell.
get caught out.
I won't tell you what I'm thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Let's park this conversation. Thanks for
yeah.
the question, Will.
Yeah. Let's talk about us. Really looking forward to tomorrow. I love that Champions League music, whether it's new or not. Phil scared me a little bit, saying how good Villarreal might be. Team, Jake. No, don't necessarily like. I don't need your 1-11, but rotation.
Well, Dogie feels like a Dogie's got to come in. Feels like Benson will probably come back in. Don't know who for.
Well, that's the thing. Like
Because Bergvall deserves to keep his place. The way he sort of said it, I don't know. Would you need Palhinha? The way he's saying they give up possession, I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I think you need him more than Bentancur.
Yeah, maybe the captain.
You have him as just a stopper.
You stay there.
Yeah, you stay there.
and we'll go and do our
It
thing.
feels like Brennan Johnson might play, although again that probably wouldn't be the right decision based on Villarreal giving up the ball.
I was disappointed / surprised Curly Moani didn't get 20 minutes on Saturday. They were playing walking football in the end.
was
There was so
weird.
much space.
Maybe we've underplayed the fact that he's not played for.
But
10
how
weeks.
else do you
what
get?
What could 15 minutes do?
How do you get fit by playing?
Again,
I
you know,
he was-
against 10 men walking space.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
found
it was
that
weird
a
to bring on Richarlison instead of him at a time like that.
Yeah,
If the game's dead and you're just giving people minutes.
so he's not going. He won't start tomorrow.
Well, we are definitely making a change tomorrow.
What's happened?
Well, Tell can't play, can he?
Tell
The
can't.
rarity of
Yeah, I was thinking who got sent
playing
off?
not being
Who's
injured or
suspended?
suspended and having to make. a
Ronnie
change.
says Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Doggy, Palhinha, Bentancur, Simons, Ritchie, Kolo Kudus.
Kolo
I
Muani
can't
won't
see
start,
Kolo
no
Muani
chance.
starting. I can see him getting minutes, maybe getting minutes against Brighton and starting against Doncaster.
I would probably go with that team maybe, and then I don't know. I wouldn't want to play Johnson, but maybe Sarr. Maybe Sarr.
Yeah, I think any team that doesn't have Sarr in it is a strange one. And
Well, but
I might even say
everyone's
Bergwijn as well.
desperate for Siemens to play in the middle.
That's fine, but like I think Sarr and Bergvall are probably two of the most important players.
But yeah, no, I don't disagree.
I think Johnson comes back in.
I love Tottenham as my second team.
You,
This guy.
Machine and Joe. Yeah, he's an Aussie. He's an Aussie who's still with us. I think he's probably the only one now. Haven't seen Daniel Pincus for a while. They've all gone. They've all gone to Forest. I want to talk about that actually. People say, "Oh, stop talking about Ange." Well, I'm going to. Really intrigued to see, looking at him from the outside in now, not being emotionally invested in him in my club. I don't really want to ask you how it's going to go because we don't know, but interesting one, no? To see Ange elsewhere.
Well, it was an interesting hire because the style of football he plays was so polar opposite to Nuno that he's either going to be brought in to completely redo a style of play understandably. But then how do you do that mid-season when also you've got Europe and no midweeks to really work on it? But then he's obviously shown flashes that he can play differently in the Europa League. So how's that going to work? Sure, they're not hiring him to do that. And from his comments on Saturday was like, it's not going to take months or weeks. You'll see by Wednesday a completely different team. Look, he is what he is, and he's brassy and ballsy with it to a fault. Good luck to him. And I credit the moxie that he's got. That he's just got this vision of himself that he's going to go in and do it. I sort of hope it doesn't work because I think it'd be quite funny. That's not to
getting such a good job.
Yeah. Look, it's going to be box office, whatever happens, isn't it? Like when people talk about Mourinho box office, no, Mourinho was
Ange's rubbish from the. Is that guy's an Aussie?
Yeah, he's Aussie. Don't like him.
Wow.
Sorry, go on.
Like Mourinho was just a prat for years. He wasn't box office. He was just a hindrance and annoying. I think this Ange thing is going to be box office because it's going to be must see regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
It did feel nice to watch. Well, I say it didn't because it was against Arsenal, but it will feel, like we can watch them games where they can see chance after chance, and it's like, not our problem.
Yeah, not our problem.
I've got a Forest friend at work, and I was like, you could. I mean, I don't know if you saw the game; they could have lost by 5, 6, 7. Arsenal, if Arsenal wanted to. Yeah. But he was, it wasn't too bad. We did all right up to the first goal, and I thought that is exactly what we were clutching at times last season, getting battered. I remember, I think Arsenal had 9 shots before they scored, and it's like, we would do it. You weren't. That's not how it works. For
I do think one thing he's going to have problems with is that at Celtic and in general at Spurs, he came in with a pretty united fan base looking forward to seeing him do well. And then he built on that with a couple of good early results. I'm a bit worried for him. Well, I'm not worried for him, but the concern could be that those fans are not particularly happy at the appointment. It could very easily turn. And we at least had those 10 games where you could think, look, it could get back to that. We had the Europa League run that we could win, that always sort of kept you going.
Agreed.
Whereas I worry for him that if it starts to turn, who's backing him in the first place? Who's going to be fighting his corner for him?
We stuck by him, didn't
massively.
we? Even during that period where it sort of got a bit shit, Christmas, January 2023.
Leave me out of this.
No, but we did.
I didn't.
In the main, there were enough people that were fighting his corner and supporting him in the stands that you could legislate keeping him on. But if they have 5 or 6 bad results in a row, that could be...
He's got one supporter. The gap.
That's it.
That's the biggest supporter.
Yeah.
Who,
true.
that guy on our always comments on our pod?
That JJJ guy in comments.
Marinakis. All right. We're going to leave it there. We've got another show on Thursday. You're back on. You're not
don't
here?
seem too happy.
I'm working, I'm
I am.
afraid.
You're working. No, I'm hoping to have Sim from We Are Tottenham TV on. Adam Virgo is going to join us before we play Brighton.
Saturday 3 o'clock. Is that 3 Saturday 3 o'clocks out of 5 this season, right?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is one of the best things about being in the Champions League, without a doubt. Saturday 3 o'clock.
Saturday 8 p.m. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, prediction
Need
for
the extra rest after Doncaster though. So
yeah. Can we get Chimbonda on?
I tried. Didn't get back to me.
Him and Sissoko. Prediction for tomorrow night?
I was thinking that we always do well at home against teams in yellow in Europe. Bodo, Dortmund, and typically it's 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1 again. 3-1 Tottenham.
Okay.
2-1.
You've nicked my prediction there. Yeah, 2-1. Like I said, Phil's given me the wobbles a bit. I just thought, Villarreal. But they're decent. They're decent.
Now trying to think of other teams we've played in Europe that play in yellow. Can't think.
There's not many.
One back in the early 90s when you were babes in arms. I feel Hajduk might have played in yellow. Anyway.
There's no German team. Well, Dortmund obviously yellow. Villarreal yellow. We haven't played against the Sweden national team, I don't think.
Brazil.
I'll have to check, but I don't
played
think
Brazil,
so.
have we?
No, I don't think we have.
All right, we're leaving it there. I know the next pod at the wonderful Launchpod Studios are out there waiting to come in. Sorry for the change of time, but it's been a busy morning here, and we got shunted to 12 o'clock, but that was fine. I'm just trying to big up how busy it was in here. Don't laugh. If you want to do a pod, do it here at Launchpod Studios. If you want to win this, become a member of our great podcast. James is coming in.
More room. If they want to do a pod, find somewhere else.
Oh, well, even better. It's so busy here, there's no room. Even better. All right, we will be back on Thursday to review the 2-1 win or 3-1 win against the Yellow Submarines. And we'll then preview the Brighton game with Adam Virgo, and we'll see you then, and up the Spurs.